So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Here's why. Wait a minute, I think this is out of frame. My head's a little big, so hold on, let me bring the seat down just a little bit, like a low rider. Anyway, here's why Americans are obsessed with iPhones. Now, you might be saying, look at that iPhone right there. Look at that picture on the screen up there. Nick, bro, you make iPhone videos all the time. What are you trying to say? Like, you're obsessed with it too. I get it. Yes, I'm obsessed with tech, so naturally I'm gonna be inclined to be obsessed with pretty much a lot of tech. And I do have a lot of phones you don't see on the channel. I don't cover them all because a lot of people don't really care to watch some of these off brands and stuff like that. But you'll see that in this video why so many people in this country are just obsessed with this brand. Now, this is not a video to bash Apple. They're a very integral part of my business. I use them a lot to edit the videos. I use them a lot to make the videos. As a matter of fact, funny thing, the irony here, this video is being recorded right now on an iPhone 13 front-facing camera, 12 megapixel at 1080p 60. I could have did 4K, but what's the point? We're just having a chit chat here. It's not like I'm trying to make some professional grade video. We're just having a chit chat in this one. First one is the Apple Store experience. Dude, you can like go right down the street, hop in your car, drive a few amount of miles or whatever, or if it's further from you. Most people in America live in a area where they're pretty close to an Apple Store. Now, not everybody, so I'm not generalizing here. There are people that are not even close at all, but many people in this country are pretty close somewhere to an Apple Store. So you do have, excellent customer experience. If something goes wrong, you just go to the store. Don't have that easy of a time finding a Samsung. I don't think I've ever seen an official Samsung store. I've seen phone shops that represent Samsung. I've seen, shops that represent other phone makers like Google and other phone makers. But you don't see these big, bold Apple store like, other brands with these stores. So that's the first one. Number two, it's almost impossible to get a virus or malware on the iPhone. Now, if you're jailbroken, you definitely can do this. But the thing is that with these iPhones, like, you don't really get viruses and stuff like that. Just keep them updated and you have no issues, no concerns whatsoever. They're gonna do pretty good. Other than that, now don't get me wrong, people have been doing a lot of smishing scams. There's been warnings from the FBI and other, official sources like to stop clicking these links in your text messages. Those are scams. Those aren't viruses and malware. Those are smishing attempts, phishing attempts. You could look up that. That's not what this video is about, but I'm just saying iPhone, you can get tricked into stuff on iPhone too, but I'm saying just straight up viruses and malware don't really happen on these products, which is a huge deal here because in America, we are very concerned about privacy for sure. And I'm sure that's pretty similar in other places, but specifically in an individualistic place like this, America, we do have, quite a bit of concerns about privacy in pretty much a lot of areas. I mean, we keep locks on all our doors. We definitely have, security for our homes and a lot of security services, cameras, things like that. It's a big deal. The next one is that Apple is an American company. It's made in Cupertino, California. They got their spaceship campus out there. And if you really think about this, when we talk about America, we're talking about Hollywood, stuff like that. That's also in California. So not only do you have Apple in California, Hollywood's there. So they're kind of like Hollywood, if you ask me. And if you don't know what that means, it's kind of like saying like they're very like popular, very like Hollywood. So, that kind of, I think the fact that they're just made in America is a big deal. And that's why you see the Pixel also gets a lot of attention as well from US users because it's also made in America. Now, the phone itself is produced. The phones themselves are not produced always here. A lot of them are produced out in China. But the deal is that the iPhones are American company. Google is an American company as well. So I think that does play into the overall reason why a lot of Americans just loves iPhones. Next one is social proof. It's pretty hard to go out and not see people with iPhone. And social proof is a real thing. It's when you see other people, a lot of people see other people with the thing, they feel like to fit in, they gotta have that thing. Now, if you're doing your own thing and you're like, you know what, bro, I don't need to fit in with nobody, I do my own thing. Shout outs to you. But some people don't think like that. Some people think if that person has that, I need to get it too. And that's a very large majority of people do think like that. Now, me personally, I don't really care. But, you might be the exception to the norm as well. You might be like, I don't care what they think. If you think like that, shout outs to you again. But like, look, bro, But a lot of people are like, hey, they have it, my friends got it, they got it at school, my parents got it, my family got it, I gotta have it too, my guy. So definitely that does play into it, I think, the social proof. The next one is that the iPhones are deeply woven into American culture. If you do watch movies, YouTube videos, a lot of stuff, there's gonna be iPhones spread throughout. And even if you're not like into tech and stuff and you watch a movie, you'll see the person, the person in a thriller has an iPhone, or the person, in the office has a Mac. You see the Apple logo. It's kind of like subconscious programming in the background all the time, where it deeply gets in your mind. You remember this brand, and like it's just something that you remember. It's marketing, so you're definitely gonna see it woven into the culture of society. Next up is, this is a busy society, always looking for convenient solutions. We're always looking for the easiest way to get stuff done, and the iPhone is a very simple experience. I mean, you press the power button, you turn it on, one click. It has a silence switch for when you want to silence it. Easy square grid of icons, Face ID, you just look at it, you swipe it. I mean, everything's convenient about it, and Americans love convenience. Take a look at all the fast food restaurants we have out here. Take a look at all the gas stations on every corner. I mean, we just love things fast and now and simple, and that stuff definitely plays into why they love them. With Android, you gotta set up a little bit more. You gotta know a little bit more about what you're doing on certain Android phones. I know if you've been using Samsung for a while, you can probably think it like, bro, it's easy too. But hey, I'm talking about mainstream, out there in the real world, regular people every day just want simple to use stuff that's easy. And when you just have this easy to use, just swipe across, type, text message, it's simple. So like, I think that plays a huge role. And then the next one is, we have a very individualistic culture here, where people are they strive to be very self-reliant, to get a job, to get a career, to do their own thing. And you see that a lot here. And definitely having the I marketing in front of iPhone, iPad, iMac, it's about me, I'm growing, I'm doing my thing. It kind of makes sense. I mean, I just think it's a very powerful name. The I product, when it's about I, is I country, individualistic type country. So definitely, I think that does play into it a little bit, why people like the iPhone as well. I mean, people even call the Apple Watch the iWatch. It's like, it's so ingrained in their brain, they don't even call it the Apple Watch. I've heard so many people say, you got the iWatch? The iWatch? Like, bro, it's not the iWatch, it's Apple Watch. Next one is FaceTime and iMessage are synonymous, like with just video chatting and messaging. People be like, iMessage me, bro. iMessage me. FaceTime me, dude. Like, no, like I don't got an iPhone right now. Message me. Okay, green bubbles. Well, if I get it, I get it. Like, people just kind of like put these two as the main thing. Like, if you say video chat, they'll be like, what? You mean FaceTime? Like, they literally think FaceTime is every video chat platform out there. Many people, they'll just be like, FaceTime and be like, but you got an Android phone. Well, you know what I mean. They'll be saying something like that. So like, that name is very, very popular, very ingrained in people's minds. So FaceTime and iMessage, I mean, before we used to use a lot of other chatting services, AOL, Yahoo Chat. There was a lot of chatting services back in the day, but once iMessage bursted onto the scene, that's all people talk about now. FaceTime as well. So definitely, those are powerful services. Americans' obsession with privacy is definitely something Apple's keenly aware of. And you see it in the marketing, you see it in the actual, Apple commercials and stuff like that. It's a big deal. They even put it on billboards and stuff. They know Americans are very obsessed with the privacy of everything. So definitely the iPhones being one of the most private lockdown systems in the country when it comes to, using a phone, you could see why people love them. They don't want people in their business. So definitely this phone keeps people out of your business. Next up is Apple's fancy billboards and commercials. Now, I live in Chicago, and I gotta tell you, man, like, I see these billboards all over the city. They're like always placed in the perfect, most trafficy location, probably $1 million+ for this ad. But I gotta tell you, they're strategic about this thing. Like, you'll be sitting in traffic, you'll look up, oh, iPhone 13, like you'll see the ad like right in front of your face while you're eating a cheeseburger while you're driving. Like, I mean, it's easy to just like, to see these ads, and then you'll rarely see an ad for another company. You have to go into Verizon store, AT&T store, or into a phone store to actually see what new phone came out. Go step into Best Buy, you'll see Samsung over there, in the front, but you don't really see like bigger ads, placed around the major cities like you do with Apple. So they spend a lot on getting those perfectly placed ads even on billboards. And then of course, when you're watching things like the Super Bowl and other stuff like that, Super Bowl coming up next week, you're gonna see freaking Apple ads and stuff. So definitely people see it, and that's what they think that's what a phone is. It's the iPhone, man. Get the phone. It is what it is. Next up is, you're not cool if you don't use an iPhone. I mean, I'm being sarcastic, that's not a real, opinion. I'm just saying, like, that's just how a lot of people think, especially the younger generation. I think this is more tied to, teenagers and people that are still not really fully matured yet. They start to think, oh, you don't got an iPhone, you're a lame. And I think that leads to a lot of, annoying people being like mentally, like, messing with people or bullying and stuff. I don't support that. And I gotta tell you that I feel like this plays into it. So definitely, people feel like they just had to have an iPhone. Next up is the ecosystem and convenience. Now, we touched on this a little bit, but the Mac, the Apple Watch, the iPhone, and again, we talked about how it's so convenient here. Americans love convenience. And when you have something that works so seamlessly together, you don't really got to think. You got a busy schedule. You're going to work. You got family to do. You got your errands to run. You got stuff to do. You don't need to be thinking about how things work. Like, that's got to run on autopilot. Once you set the Apple stuff up, it pretty much does run on autopilot. You don't got to do much. You could even set up the updates to update on their own while you're sleeping. Like, it don't get much better than that. So I gotta say, the ecosystem and its convenience is very strong for Apple. Next up is the premium status look. Now, I'm definitely someone who's into the more premium look, so I kind of fall prey to this one. I've always been into premium stuff because I'm a very detailed person. I like premium everything. Like, I just like premium stuff. Just because I feel like if I'm gonna invest in something, life is short. I want it to feel nice. I want it to feel beautiful. And I think they do a good job with the premium look. But some people take this too far, like, oh, if you got this, you balling out of control. Like, bro, it don't mean nothing. People be making payments on these phones, and like, just because I got this iPhone right now don't mean I'm balling out of control. I got this iPhone. I worked for it. I paid for it, and that's it. We move on. Like, it's that simple. But like, people take it like it's a status thing, and you see celebrities with it and stuff like that. They're promoting on their Instagram. They're taking selfies. They're doing modeling. You see the little Apple logo. You see the latest color until that color is old, and then they don't use that color no more. You get what I'm saying. You get my drift. The next one is the camera and the social media apps. In this country where we're very, like I said, individualistic, as a self-reliant kind of thing, we do see the iPhone having some amazing cameras, and developers really optimize the social media apps to process these photos quite well from iPhone images. So when you do like Instagram or you post on Facebook, stuff like that, the images look really good on the social platforms when they come from iPhone. Sometimes when they come from other Android devices, they don't look quite as good. So definitely, I do think that plays a major role, is the camera. People want it easy, and the iPhone camera is almost pro level in a lot of ways, and definitely easy to use. The average person could take a pro level photo with an iPhone Pro and not know anything about what they're doing. For the finale, when you get home and you use it and everything's smooth, it's premium, the camera works well, the battery, Apple delivers too. They don't just, have the great marketing, they deliver on the product. They execute very well, and that's a very big deal. And they have great quality control, so you don't usually get an iPhone out of the box with scratches on it, anything like that. They execute, and if they can't, you're gonna have to wait, like what you're seeing right now with the chip shortage, because they will not sacrifice quality for putting out more. They're not gonna send out a bunch of phones and sacrifice the actual build quality. They're gonna make sure it's all perfect. So I have never had an iPhone out the box that had an issue with battery, any scratches, scuffing, display issues. Quality is top notch, and that's a big deal as well. So this is why Americans love iPhones, and there's probably a lot more reasons, and I want to hear from you. What do you got to say about this one? If you enjoyed this more conversational like video, let me know. I'll consider making more of these. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.